Hello. Alright, we are live. Just give me a moment. Okay, hello. I'm back, and we are going to continue from where we left off last time. With this amazing cutscene right here.
Hey Sarge, why we always gotta listen to this shit for anyway? Cause I'm in charge, that's why. Oh, it don't seem like no good kind of reason to me. Hey, what's that? Hold on, man, a second. Steamroller! Looks like you mashed some poor fella's dog, Sarge. It's a Zergling, Lester. Smaller type of Zerg. He can be out this far unless... Oh, shit. I love you, Sarge.
And get some F's in the chat for Sergeant Lester. Oh man. StarCraft cut one cutscenes were something, man.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Like they may be kind of low quality.
I got your message, Magistrate. And frankly, I don't care what you have to say about Confederate regulations. You damn fringe world yokels are all alike. Don't know where your loyalties lie. Y'all have a real good day now, you hear?
Transmission ended. The report you requested is ready. 16 outland stations have reported sightings of the alien invaders identified as Zerg. The Confederates have arrested all standing militia forces and continue to avoid action against the Zerg. 3 stations have fallen to the Zerg already. We've been unable to locate any source of military relief except the extremist faction known as the Sons of Korhal. Their liaison is holding online.
Good day, Magistrate. My name is RTSes, and I represent the Sons of Korhal. You're familiar with the Confederate propaganda surrounding my group, but your reputation suggests you'll see past it. It's never been our practice to operate in any one place for long, but these Zerg don't look like they're going to wait. I'm going to make you an offer, Magistrate. I'd like to help you out by sending down a number of transports to your colony and evacuating any survivors. You know, of course, that my organization operates outside the bounds of Confederate law. That's why they spread their lies and misinformation. If you decide to accept our help, you'll be branded as an outlaw too. But it's a chance to save those people. Time to make a stand, Magistrate.
Ending transmission. Priority alert. Evacuation zone under attack by Zerg forces. Distress beacon activated at 12:20.
And there it is. Best boy has just been introduced. Arcturus Manx himself. Ah, I survived for 30 minutes. This mission. I used to be.
This thing's on fire. You ought to send an SUV out here to repair it. You can fix my bike up too while it's at it.
I used to be quite intimidated by this mission in particular because 30 minutes sounds like an extremely long time. But once you figure out that there's actually something wrong with the AI, the way it's coded, especially in the old game, this becomes really dull. So I guess we can use this to talk about a lot of things. Again, this series is a walkthrough for StarCraft campaign in the most casual way I can try to play it, showing that most people can pick it up. It's not a difficult game at all. And 28 minutes of basically doing nothing. So first of all, we learn about fire. And the guy said, the vulture here, said that you better get an SCV to repair it. These are one of the things that SCVs, your units, can do. Hold on a second. Just want to lower the volume a bit. And they can repair things, like there's one thing that Terran is only capable of doing. Zerg units and buildings heal on their own. They regenerate because they're biological things. Protoss do not. They only regenerate shields. As for Terran, buildings and mechanical units can all be repaired by the SCV at a certain cost. As you can see, the minerals went down a bit as I was repairing. And fire is a interesting mechanic. Only for Terran as well, in which if your buildings are on fire, they burn down slowly after a certain threshold. Just now was just like a little bit of flames. The first stage of fire, it doesn't really affect much. And we're gonna talk about the bunker too. The bunker is a building that your infantry can enter. As you can see, 4 of them are in it. And finally I get to show what they can do, because in the last video, in the last stream, I wanted to really show the moment they were introduced what are these bunkers about, but the AI just would not aggro properly. They would get stuck in an area there and just run back and forth and do this little chicken dance. Anyways, I said in the last video, my volume settings were a bit off, so I can explain some things again that may have not been clear. One thing is that I said that Terran buildings can all lift off to be relocated wherever you feel like, so you don't have to build the same building again if you feel like it's off, if you feel like your initial positioning was off. And one thing the campaign always does, the early campaign, is that when you try to build command center, you notice that you can't build close to resources. It is because they want to make sure there's a certain distance between them, so people just don't. It is for balance purposes. And as you notice, there's a lot of green space there, which means the campaign never puts the command center in the most optimal position. So one thing you can try to remember at the beginning of every mission, especially when you're Terran, check whether the command center is optimally placed. Because more often than not, they aren't. One thing good about bunkers is that they can be repaired, and Marines right now at the start cannot. So you want to try to build as many bunkers as you can. You can only put up to 4 units in them, and it's good to like put them close to each other, so when one gets attacked, the other will also be able to cover for it. Also remember to keep building SCVs. They are your bread and butter. They are the most important unit in the game. Workers are really good at, well, they are really what is that English word now? It's a word for important, but I'll just say important. You need them. They are your life force. They get your money, they build your buildings, and more money is always best. They repair your buildings too, which makes SCVs one of the better units in the game. I think the SCVs can repair robotic units from other factions, if I remember correctly. So this holdout mission, as you can see, only 7 minutes has passed. We still have 20 more minutes. And trust me when I say I think this setup is more than enough to survive for the entirety of the mission. One thing that you can do, as you notice, we have these new things called missile turrets. Is to build a lot of them by this mineral line, because in this, we caught one just now. I didn't really bring attention to it, but you will find that in this mission they introduce flying enemies, mutalisks. These things are good at attacking flying enemies, and because this won't stop mutalisks from coming over to your mineral line to attack the SCVs. You gotta, when it comes to flying units, you gotta start thinking about, oh no, is he stuck? This happens often. Sometimes you build it into place and they get stuck, and that's just over. There's nothing you can do. Let's just put him out of his misery. I'm sorry. Yeah, where was I? Alright. So, flying units and mineral line are two things that come hand in hand. Because usually the minerals are guarded by some kind of blockade. In most maps they'll be at the side here. Like, it'll be guarded by this river of some sorts, and people usually have to go through your defenses to get to them. Flying units can't ignore that. They'll just fly past everything and attack from behind. That is what's good about flying units. So it is important to try to defend your backline, your mineral line, your workers with missile turrets, because it means that they cannot just... the missile particle made it really difficult to see how they look like, but I'm pretty sure you heard there's this little bit of a weird metallic ninja shuriken kind of noise. That is their attack. It's Worm Glaive. It is like it looks like a shuriken according to the icon and the projectile, and it bounces from units to units. It has a StarCraft 1 sound. I just want to gush about StarCraft 1 sound design. It is, even for such an old game, it is so distinct. A lot of things you can get just through audio cues. Like, listen to this. You'll be able to remember this anywhere, when it happens. And this as well. No, you can't attack. Sorry. Even the gun noises, like, even this welding, you can just, it's so distinct, you'll be able to hear it. It stands out a lot, and even in the most hectic of situations, you'll be able to make out what's happening right now. Like, you can hear this going on, that means your workers are doing their work. If this stops, then that's where, if it just suddenly goes quiet, you'll have to panic a bit, because something is wrong here. Again, as I said, 2 bunkers, full with marines. Just remember to keep repairing them, if you can. And here's one thing you can do. If you don't want to wait for an SCV to finish its job, you can go up to the bunker, right-click it, and then hold down shift and right-click the other bunker, which means that once he's done with this, it's called queuing, shift queuing. When you hold down shift to do multiple actions, they end up doing, see, he moves on to the next one. So right now, I'm just telling him to walk it, to move in circles, and he'll follow all the actions that I shift queued up. Just remember to hold down the shift button when you're doing this, so you don't have to keep on waiting for the SCVs to finish their work. If you feel like just right after an attack, take your SCV and shift queue repair everything and shift queue back the mineral line. So he will move to everything. If they don't need repairing, he won't repair them. In any case, remember to always build supply depots, and these are upgrades. So what this does, Terran infantry, Terran armor, weapons and armor, is that it will give all these guys a 1 over here, and his damage will be 6 plus 1. That, since Terran Marines are mostly built, they function as a large army, and you build them in bulk, you build them in a huge mass. 6 plus 1, doesn't sound like a lot at first, but it means a lot when you're thinking about like 6 plus 1 times 12. That's 12 extra damage your units are doing. And the same applies for armor. Armor is always like a plus 1, plus 2, and plus 3, which only reduces the damage they take by 1, 2, 3, depending on what the armor value is. This doesn't sound like a lot when you're fighting a single unit, but when it comes to an army, you're mitigating a large amount, and you're also basically neutralizing any kind of upgrade the enemy units have. Now there's a really big attack wave. Try to heal it while it's... oh, okay. As you can see, I lost a building. When the bunker gets destroyed, the units inside do not die. So that's why they're really good, because they protect your marines in every way possible. Oh. I forgot to hover over the marines, the mutalisks again. So at this point, the attacks, as you notice, they're starting to get bigger, and I would recommend just getting a third bunker. Again, when you're building buildings, there's always like a hotkey for them. As you can see, like this one has the highlighted U, this one has a highlighted T, so you can just press the buttons to build them. There's a lot actually introduced in this mission, but we'll go through them real slowly. So at the end of the game, a lot of they will start sending a lot of attack forces, a lot of mutalisks, a lot of hydralisks, and so it's important that you get your it's important to get as much missile turrets as possible in the backlines, and in the front get as many marines in bunkers as you can. 3 is a good number, because that was basically the largest attack wave you'll see. And because of how the pathing works in StarCraft 1, the Zerglings will just end up like not being able to reach all 3 of these bunkers. I like to build them in this little kind of curved U shape, so that, you know, they have to distribute, the Zerglings will be forced to distribute their damage among these 2 bunkers. The third one will mostly be safe, and everyone will be able to attack them. I would not recommend going with firebacks in this mission because there are a lot of mutalisks. I think even with Zerglings, Marines are enough, as long as you get the infantry upgrade. Infantry armor is not that useful because you will spend most of your time in the bunkers, so you'll not be taking damage on the Marines. It's good to like save up on the minerals and the gas. Well, it's not right, I'm really building a lot anyways. As you can see that the early missions are rather easy. You don't really have to focus that much on how good your economical and micro management is, army management. So this is good. U-238 shells increases the marine attack range. I'm surprised that some of these things actually say what they do, considering how like Stimpack does not tell you what it does. You know, it doesn't tell you that it makes them make a funny noise, they start attacking fast and they lose health. As you can see, here's an indicator of my actions per minute. It's really low, and yet this mission is, you know, nothing has gone really wrong so far. We lost a bunker, it's salvageable. The attack waves come in like I don't know what's the timing for it, but they're not that frequent. Trust me, this mission, once you... It sounds intimidating at first to just hold for 30 minutes, because it sounds like there's no way to speed up the process. Actually, there is in I think the Nintendo 64 version. It doesn't work here. As you can see, the ComSat station has built by the command center, has an ability to scan the map and see what's out there. These bases, if I believe so in other versions, the N64 version especially, if you destroy all the Zerg buildings, you win the game. It doesn't work here, so it's also going to be a bit difficult for someone new to figure that out. So we won't do it. The mission told us to wait for 30 minutes, and we will wait for 30 minutes. As boring as it may sound. But this is how it is. StarCraft, Blizzard loves to do these little holdout missions, and they vary from enjoyability to difficulty. I think the ones that are really difficult are the ones that are more enjoyable because you don't just stand around here. Like I've been doing almost nothing the whole time. I haven't even discussed how you build these things, these guys, vultures. As you know, in the previous missions, it was always Jim Raynor as these guys, but now they're a lot weaker. They have 80 HP, they only do 20 damage, and these things need researching. These are mechanical units. Terran also has like a second tier of units. So the barracks builds infantry and the factory builds these kind of units, the mechanical ones. The mechanical ones are a bit more expensive, but they can be repaired, which makes them really good for Terran. Especially in the campaign where things aren't too hectic, you can afford to like repair some of them. They are good if you just want to like have a long-term surviving army. The way you call it. Oh, there's a large wave here. So, one thing good about these guys is that they're really fast, and you can. What I'm doing right now is we call pulling. You can draw the aggro of units. So, away from their group, the AI is super aggressive. Where they see something within a certain range of them, they will like to chase them down as long as they can continue seeing them. If you keep, and these guys are really fast, they can afford to like weave in and out. And one thing that people like to do is, I'm not sure if I can do it. Hold on. There's a thing where if you use the patrol key instead. Look at it. He just. It's a bit difficult for me. I've never really done this as much. I'm not so fond of StarCraft 1's micro, but he can shit the grenade out of his ass, basically. It's something that high-level players do to make sure that they're able to attack without taking much damage. Because they're abusing the vultures' maneuverability, their mobility to. Oh, this is actually a big wave. Yeah, there's a thing where they attack from one side. They end up attacking from one side. Yeah, this is the bug that happens that makes things a bit suspect. They're supposed to come from both ends, but instead of attacking from both ends, they end up attacking on only one end, and it becomes a bit. As you can see, I've been overwhelmed for a bit. I think this should be fine. I think if we pull them back, let's see if we can do this. So one thing you can do is you attack the ground, and when you start attacking, you pull them immediately, and then go. You start attacking my workers instead. Fun fact: workers can attack. So there we go. Even when things went really south, the mission was still doable. It was only 1 minute in. And you can just, one thing you can do is just unload everyone from the other side and send them over. It's just a very weird mission overall. Usually they should have been attacking from both sides, but they decided to just bring everyone on that end. So yeah, that is Desperate Alliance. And now we'll go through what we call a no-build mission.
Your tenure as Colonial Magistrate is suspended, pending an official investigation of your affiliation with the Sons of Korhar. Receiving incoming transmission.
Hey man, Arcturus' boys sprung me from the prison ship. Apparently they're as frustrated with the Confederates as we are. I know their reputation, but they seem to be on the level. I think Arcturus wanted to speak with you.
Commander, Mar Sara is almost completely overrun by the Zerg. The Confederates are abandoning the planet, and so are we. However, there is one thing I'd like to do before we leave. I want you to raid this colony's Confederate outpost and retrieve whatever design or weapons schematics that you can find in their networks. With the chaos of the Confederates' evacuation, you shouldn't have any trouble getting in or out of their installation.
I'm into it.
You know, it never occurred to me, but when Raynor said, I know their reputation, they are an extremist group. You're technically a bunch of terrorists. The Confederates are basically the governing force, and we all know what happens later. Alright, so this is what we call a no-build mission. You do not start with a base, and you are just given a set amount of units to go and do things. I remember saying that in the past, heroes are units that you want to be very careful with, and you don't really want to use them as much because the moment they die, as you can see, Raynor must survive. If he dies, it's over. It's over for us. However, in a no-build mission, things flip around a bit. If you're given a hero, you should always put him in front because, as you can see, 50 HP, 40 HP, 200. You want to have as much mana as possible because you cannot reinforce. Well, I say this, but then technically some missions, they have rescuables lying around. But you want to make sure that you want to try to play with the mindset that you're not getting any reinforcements. So you want to try to be as careful as possible. These are missions that really like put your micromanagement to the test. The problem is micromanagement is basically army management, how you control the army, how you move them around and how you attack them. My problem with StarCraft 1 is that, again, the pathing is really crap in this game. So it can be a bit tricky to do this. However, this is one of the earlier missions, so we don't have to, as you can see, the flamethrower goes through. Finally, we get to demonstrate that. Why are we killing civilians? Oh, it's pretty fun. They mean no harm, but whoa. Yes, in this mission there are a lot of these hidden traps that can just spring up upon your people, so be careful that it's not always safe wherever you are, and you want to make sure that Jim Raynor is always in front. One thing that you can do is do control groups. So control groups are a bit of a complicated thing. Well, not really. I don't want to go into it too much because I don't know how much will newbies want to work with control groups. But if you're feeling great about it, one thing you can do is assign these units to numbers on your keyboard. If you click on Raynor, press Control 1, and you hover over these guys, select all these guys, and press Control 2, you have assigned Raynor to the button 1, and these guys to the button 2. See, look at this. I can just switch between both. So one thing is that you can send Raynor forward and send these guys forward without having to keep on dragging the mouse over and accidentally like bringing Raynor in. But you know, we'll try to do this without the use of control groups. We'll just, as you can see, stairs are a bit weird to climb up.
Teleportation field activated.
That was pretty fast. I thought it would have taken a while to. Right, and he goes back. This gets pretty annoying sometimes.
Let's move. This is Jimmy. This should be good. Oh yeah.
Oh no! Hey, you're not allowed in here. Hi, Jim. Where are you?
Anytime you're ready. Oh yeah. Yes. Let's burn.
Security cameras activated.
Naturally.
So the security cameras just show you the places that you can go. It highlights the mini-map, so it gives you an idea of where things are and which path to take. Because as you can see, we went in this area blindly. We're not really sure where all these areas will be heading towards. Like I'm sure there's another like fork that goes either through here or through here. Is this a dead end? No. Let's put Raynor in front. Always put Raynor in front because Raynor is the man. The man with 200 HP. He also has like 3+3 armor, a base 3 armor, and additional 3 armor. Everyone has like a full upgrades. Raynor is the man. He will resist 6 damage from all sources every single time. We've been only like running to civilians and like security machines lately. This ship is really crowded, isn't it? It's a Confederate ship. You'd think that they'll have like some form of defenses outside to stop people from. This area is pretty big, right? Like the moment they breach in, they can go everywhere. It's a bit. It's poorly. It's poorly guarded. That's what I'm trying to get at. This place is so empty too. There's nothing here. Oh, there we go. These hidden gun turrets. There is some nice, I guess, visual storytelling that's happening right here. You can see these things are being smashed up, and you start thinking like, what lies ahead? What could be beyond this? It's not really much, you know. I think they usually when you see these, it's a way to like indicate that something ominous is up ahead, and you just see one marine there and like, all right, I guess someone had a temper tantrum one time. I'm running around in circles right now. I'm really not fond of these no-build missions because of this. Especially the first one. I think the ones that come later on are a lot better. I think it's been a while since I've played these. This one's just a bit of a maze. I get maybe like it's a bit more immersive that everything is not in a single path because this is a ship after all, and in real life you don't really have linear paths in your buildings or your transports. But is it a ship? I forgot. Is it? No, this is a facility. Sorry, I'm a bit like tired today. I'm not really getting the lore parts right. It's also been a really long time since I've played StarCraft 1. I know the basic story, I don't know much of the details, and when the mission briefing comes on, I'm usually like just thinking about what to do in this mission and trying to remember what can be taught. As a result, my mind's all over the place. Looks like we went through one of these important areas first. This guy's injured, so he should always be at the back. Am I going just really hard? Go in. Automatic defense system deactivated. Oh, that means the turrets won't be popping up anymore. So this is a good place to go first, I guess. I say Raynor should be in front, but it feels like, as much as I try to do this, everyone else takes damage before him. I'm sorry. I defaulted to... Oh, that's really close. The fire bats are more dangerous for the Marines because they splash damage and they can attack more than one person. Cell doors open. This is a prison ship. Whoa, 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 what it is? I can't believe it! Zerglings!
Believe it. I saw Zerg within Confederate holding pens myself, and that was over a year ago. It's clear the Confederates have known of these creatures for some time. For all we know, they could be breeding the things. Be that as it may, our priority here is accessing the Confederate network. We'll deal with the Zerg another day.
Boom! Conspiracy theory. The Confederates were working with the Zerg all along. One thing I really wished was that all of these decorations, I know I'm nitpicking, but all of this could have been nicer if it's closer to the Zerg pens. Because it would have, like, you know, you've got this feeling, right? Like, it's just visual storytelling. The closer you go to the Zerg, you know that something is off, because you were told that this ship is, this facility, it's like a Confederate facility, people were in it, everyone was alive and stuff, everything was, you know, everything's in good shape, and then suddenly, like, things are being smashed over here. What's happening there? It was just a bit, I don't know, it was a bit too far from the Zerglings for my liking. It just felt like that one Marine over here had a bad day and just smashed everything in the lab. I think there was like supposed to be a lot of gun traps here, but then we deactivated them. So that's why this place just feels so empty. Oh dear, the first no build mission was... There are a lot of things I can appreciate from previous StarCraft designs, StarCraft 1 designs, but this was not one of them. I remember these two missions, the 30-minute holdout and this super empty facility was one of the few parts I really did not enjoy. I think the first two missions, Wasteland and the one where you destroy the infested command center, was like, it was really good. It was, there was a lot happening. You didn't feel, you felt like you were discovering something new all the time, and it didn't feel like just an empty space of nothing, right? Like, this facility definitely feels like a lot of nothing right now. And we're at the Vulture Bay. These guys do a lot of damage to Marines. Gotta be careful about them. They keep targeting someone, even if I put Jim in front, they will target someone else. That is strange. Alright, Jim, you go up first. You can do this, right? He is the man. Look at this, I don't even need people. I just need Jim. And I know these guys are expendable, but sometimes I try to like save as much as I can. Because...
Teleportation field activated.
What? Why do you stop moving? I thought it was a cutscene. You want to save as much people as you can because you know you're less likely you're going to get any reinforcements, so you want to make sure that, you know, you do not, you want to make sure that you don't get, oh, I thought we deactivated these. Hello? Game, are you lying? You want to make sure more people remain alive as much as possible. And I know I've been like, yeah, we just drag them all around and just keep putting Raider in front before we go to the next area to make sure they just target Raider. He's not gonna die anytime soon. Especially when what you're mostly facing is just Marines and like these shitty automated defense systems that just do not deal damage at all. I think there was supposed to be a lot here as well, but we turned them all off. And I do believe we have reached the end. As you can hear, we have a new unit type attacking us, and that was the Ghost. You can tell. I don't know if you can hear this. Is there another automated defense system? I want to see another gun turret. The sound design in StarCraft 1 is it is timeless, man. Like, listen to that. And listen to this. Even these little machine gun things that basically just go ta 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 ta. They have a different sound for both the marine and the gun turret. They really, they really knew how to make things distinct. You knew what was attacking at every given time. And that's it. Two of, I'll argue, the most tedious missions of the early part of the Terran campaign. There has been a lot to learn about the basics of Terran, which, as much as I didn't like the 30-minute holdout mission, a lot of the things you learn there will be important later on, because Terran are just really good at defending, and just having a few bunkers, no matter what the objective is, always just having a few bunkers in your base will always be good. And we've learned a lot about the Confederates too. Story-wise, we know that they're not just pain in the asses, they're also working alongside the Zerg. So we got the plans, and next week we're going to see what Arcturus has in mind with this. Till then, see you all.